Hey guys, how are you? Hi, how are you? Hey guys, I'm going to be starting the free yes and no crystal ball, which is called gazing readings or scrying readings. My tarot list is open. My tarot is 25. I'm going to be waiting for the stream to load a little bit, and then I'm going to start with the free yes and no. Oh, hi. Thank you. Oh, good. Thank you. And yourself? Oh, okay. That's good, but yeah. Hey guys, I'm going to be doing free yes and no gazing readings. So these work differently than tarot. If you want a tarot, they are 25. So I'm going to start. I answer nothing magical, nothing with medical, or nothing with safety. Everything else. And deep destiny is for astrology. Everything else pretty much fits in. Okay, no problem. Terry, does Amy D miss you and will she contact you? So I'm not answering two questions, but I'll answer the first one. Is she missing you? So let me go to the question 1 second here. Terry is asking about Amy. Yes, but the thing is that it's like I see two people together, and then they get closer, and then one just turns around and leaves. So I see like a departure. I see like a distance. So yes, but whatever circumstance is leading to distance is important there. All right, let's see. Paula, does your friend Paul have a crush on you? Yes. Yes, I do. I see a woman standing and a man coming up, to, standing close to her back and kissing her on the neck. Actually, it's on this side, on the right side. If he hasn't done this, maybe it's something he wants to do. So this can be like, looking into something that he thinks about, readily. So yes, the answer is pretty much yes. Okay, let's see. Isabella, will Trevor and you reconcile? I see a cordial reconciliation. It's more genial. It's more like routine. I don't see one that's full heart. you know. Oh, hey, you, how are you? What do you mean? What happened? Okay, Ty is asking, should you be a teacher? I'll see what I get from this, but you know, that's an astrology question. So if I look at your chart, I can look at the destiny of your career. Okay, some people have like split up stuff. So like you could be one thing for 15 years and then you have a career change, whatever that is. Uh-oh. Let me see. Let me see the career part. Yeah, you know, I mean, are you already? Because if you're doing some kind of tutoring, you know, then it can skew the question. Because you see what I'm saying? You're asking a destiny question, and this is a right now question, a relevant to the times question. So if you're tutoring or doing something like that, it's going to skew it. So, so yeah, like I said, that's why you're going to get a very quirky answer from me, because you're asking something that doesn't fit what this style, what I'm doing. All right, let's see. Nish, do you see me reconnect? Wait, did I miss something? Oh, I'm catching a piece of that, Valexian. I didn't get the whole thing. I think you'd rather text me, because I'm never going to catch it on this thing. I'll never see it on the right sequence. Hi, Nish. Do you see me reconciling with the ex-boyfriend? Okay. No. No. There's a timing problem. Sam, will Jordan reach out to you? No, I am seeing that he's very close to someone right now in a helpful way. So right now he's preoccupied with being close to someone. It doesn't look romantic to me. It looks caring, so it could be like friend or family member. In other words, the energy of the moment is not love-based. So, you know, let's see. Rachel, do you already know your forever partner? Let's see. I do see someone in the picture involved with you. You're both sitting. He's on the left side from the angle that I'm seeing. Yeah, so in other words, here's the answer that I have for you. I do see someone that you already know that's in the romantic picture for you. In other words, this person fits the romantic category. So if you just had a breakup, or if you know, you're asking your forever person. I don't know that you have a forever person. I would have to look at your chart. If a divorce is on there, it will be on your chart. Your soulmate and your story and your destiny with your love is on your chart. So, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean that you're alone for 20 years and then, it doesn't work that way. So you're asking something that only astrology can show, the entire story of the love destiny. So yes, whoever you're with, they're romantically interested in you. But as far as like, are they your person? You can book an astrology with me. Okay, let's see. Give me 1 second. I missed something. I'm getting a lot of different. Oh, you don't. Oh, Gravity, you don't have to tell me that. You know I only refer to you as Gravity, or, you know that. You don't have to tell me that. I wouldn't say that to you. Okay, let's see. Come on, we're beyond that. That must be exhausting to explain that every time. Okay, I know. It's okay. Let me go get that. My God, how tiring. You should only say it once to somebody. Okay, give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me pull that up. Okay, so I have Paula and I have Gravity. Do you want to meet me on that? How do you the Y and the letter T, UBE? Because of the censorship, I don't do the tarot on here. Okay, you understand what I'm saying to you? Because I can't with the censorship. Every word is like, I can't. Yeah, meet me on there so I can do the reads. And that way we can speak freely. Okay, I'm on there now. So, yeah. And I'll be back for the free yes and no crystal ball. I'm just going to I'll do 2 tarots and then I'll be back. It's troll heavy, so you're gonna have people say very colorful things. You just ignore them. I don't have time for that shit. I'll be like, okay, bye. Sometimes I don't even block people. They'll say like atrocities. I'm like, okay, just deal with the trolls. Just ignore them. They don't exist because it's very troll heavy over there to a crazy level. Oh, there you are. Hi, Paula. You are actually first. You're because I go by order of invoice, so yours first. I'm just waiting for Mac on this one, or I should say Gravity. There you are. Okay, great. Yes, I'm. Do I have my original one? When I was 19, no, I don't. I thought I did, but no, 21. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. No, the one I have, I think, I kept deleting them through the years. That's so cool, though, that you kept yours. All right, guys, I'll be back on TikTok. I'm going to be doing some tarot over there. And then I'll be back here to do free yes and no crystal ball. If you want to book, I'll address those orders when I get back. But I'll be on, the place you can't say. All right. Bye. The place full of censorship where you can't say anything anymore. Someone asked me a question about Instagram and a link on Instagram. And they slap a freaking violation on me. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you're manipulating people off our platform. I'm like, really? So then I appealed it. And then I guess the AI, the bot, cited on my side And I was like, I'm not living through this hell. And then I read the new policy changes. Oh my God, forget it. You can't even talk. It's like, ugh. I'm surprised I can do crystal ball on there. Of course, it sounds like Tarzan English. All right, guys, I don't want to waste your time. So I want to do Paula's and zip through that and give her the full focus. And then Mac, I'll do yours, okay? Or I should say gravity, because people will be like, who's Mac? Because it says gravity. Okay, all right, so Paula, I'm going to start. So if you have to grab a snack or something, I just don't want you to wait and be bored on there. Yeah, not a problem. So you want it to be looking at, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Love readings are, I know they're a little bit more, but they're worth it. But yeah, we can do it into the 25. I'm just letting you know that the way that I dissect love readings are, there's a very deep story of what the couple's been through or what he's been thinking and stuff like that. But we'll see what we can squeeze in with the 25 because this is meant to clarify one thing. But yes, that's fine. You're very tuned into the one thing, which is how he feels. I hope that made sense. No, not a problem. All right, so this is for Paul. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an energy check on both of you just to break the ice. Okay, so this is for Paul and Paula. Do I know you, Paula? Are you a Sagittarius? I used to read for a Sagittarius named Paula, but I don't remember her last name. Is that you? Ah, okay, another Paula. I'm saying it right, right? I hope I'm saying it right in your language, Paula. I like that. Okay, here we go. Nice to meet you. Okay, so in this reading, it starts off explain. So this is lithomancy, astrolomancy. Okay, it's a type of divination. So this is I don't know if you could see it. Can you? Yeah, sort of. Anyway, it's a dice reading. This is just breaking the ice. So the reading begins with you involved with somebody, and this. It doesn't mean that you are continuing to be. You know, it doesn't mean that you have a boyfriend or a lover. It could just mean that there's someone in the picture involved with you romantically. I don't have to know the details. The point is that this man, Paul, okay, so it can be the energy of your spouse that has not left. And I'm very sorry for that. It can be that the fact that you are, yeah, so, but he's in the picture, you know, he's in the reading, not that he's communicating. I don't mean it like that. I mean that the way that you appear seems like very involved. So obviously he's belated, but, you know, it's still very present in your energy. Yeah. Okay. So there's this guy, Paul, and he's very romantically interested in you. But I see that he also doesn't know how to approach. Oh, I'm very sorry. May he rest in peace. Okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so Paul is very romantically interested in you, and he doesn't know quite how to approach it. Okay, that's probably why. Because of the awkwardness. Okay. Don't tell me anymore. Don't tell me anymore. Wait, let me see what comes up naturally, and then you could talk to me. let me just see what else comes up, okay? When we do the tarot. Okay. So he is very interested. When I saw in the crystal ball the energy of him and you, I remember saying to you, I don't know if he's done this, but I know that he thinks it. So in other words, it could be a fantasy. In other words, he desires to be with you, so he pictures certain things. That's possible. Yeah. Yeah, but he wants to. So this is, you know, considering what you've been through and considering the situation, it may be awkward. Yeah, but he wants to. He wants to. And he's in a tough spot, obviously. All right, so that being said, there's a couple of other things. He feels, because the theme of this reading is, what does he feel about you? One of the things he feels about you, we're only talking about Paul, is that he would like you to, it's going to sound strange I say it like this, but anyway, hear me out. He wants you to move past all of your past and forget it. I'm not saying he wants you to forget your husband, because that's ridiculous. But from a love perspective, because he fell for you or has fallen for you, he's in a difficult situation. This reading's about him and the way he thinks. He's in a difficult situation because he doesn't want to fall in love and be living in the shadow of somebody. He doesn't want to be, that's not like, picture that you would fall in love with someone who was a widower. You would understand to be there for them and everything, but you would want to be, yeah. So he wants the situation with you and him to not have the heaviness of that, because he feels like there's no room for him in a way. Like, it's not about you and him, it's about him with this baggage and then you. And because of that baggage, which is a respectful baggage because of your circumstances, you know, it's hard to say, like, drastically move on or let's start something new without being disrespectful. So there's that point right there. Another thing is that when it comes to your money or your job or whatever it is that you do, he also feels that you can drown him out. So this is another thing he feels. Like when a person marries their job, or when a person, you know, because I see that there is money opportunities and things that are in your near reach future that maybe you haven't leaped and gotten a direction, like maybe opportunities have opened for you or something. I see that there's something good financially for you. This can be a promotion, this could be a job. If you don't have a work, maybe it's something you're doing with your time. Maybe it's a project, you know. It's when a person puts their energy, their effort into something. And he feels that that can be a wedge between him. Okay. I see what you're saying. And he feels like, I'm glad she has this, but what about me? So between the baggage and the job, yeah. So you are the person has fallen for. You have the looks, the personality. He's completely immersed in you, but your lifestyle doesn't fit what he desires. because, you know, nobody sits down and says, you know, I want this person to have a baggage they can't forget. I want this person to just focus on their job and not have anything to do with me. In early love, no matter what age, in early love, couples have to have like, they have to be stuck like glue. And then they can, once they have that together, then you can have time for, you know, doing other things, you know, like being in a relationship, but you already know, okay, she's got to do her job, but I know that she's going to come back and we're going to spend 2 hours together. There's no vision where he sees, I'm going to be happy with her. Am I making a mistake? You know, is this going to look like the life I want it to be like? Am I going to just be selling myself short? Would I be happier with someone else? There's a lot of questions that he has, but at the same time, the attraction is very high and the desire is very high. So this is an awkward time for him. And he's felt like this for a long time. But it's getting to that level. All right, so now with that being said, let's go ahead and look into the tarot part. Sorry, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, I will definitely address it. I'm quiet because I'm just doing my thing. Yeah, I will explain all of it. I'm just trying to get all the pieces together. Thank you for your patience. Having an issue in an area, which I will address. Okay, give me 1 second. Got it. I got it. Okay. Okay, let's talk about a lot of things. Now I'm ready to do the read. Okay. All right. So we're done with the energy check. Now we're going into the tarot. Let's start off. You know, in the past, it obviously starts with, you know, your spouse. This is a person that I can tell was known for his intelligence. So he either taught or he did something where he would, you know, he was a very wise person. So I don't know if he was a teacher or a lot of people have other professions and they still have an influence on people where they let them know advice, philosophy, tips. There was something very strong about him. Yeah, very, very strong. A person that, you know, he could comfort somebody else and kind of knew, okay, yeah. And who he was as a man, it made him more charming by his personality. Yeah. So those kinds of shoes are hard to fill because that type of man is the type of man that a woman can feel comfortable leaning on. They have like a certain strength about them. And that's very, you know, very, very unique. You know, yeah. The next part of the reading talks about the, you know, the fact that someone wants to take that place. Charming. Yeah, definitely a lot of charm. He was right. He was definitely right. Very charming. The current situation looks to me like someone wants to be that. They want to be that for you, Paul. But he can only be the best of who he is. He cannot be a copy of his friend. And he doesn't want to be a copy of his friend, but loving you because the way you loved your spouse makes him want to be that, but he also struggles with wanting to be the best he is. So because he's in love with someone that had someone before him on a pedestal, which he deserved to be on a pedestal, your spouse, definitely. Hard shoes to fill. It makes this one say, I want to be that for her, but I want to do it my way. And because he has to battle without spoken words, he wants to battle, you know, that, you know, the way that you felt is difficult. I do see that in the future, there is a possible marriage. But you see, this is what he wants, because this is the thing. This reading is going to address the things that are opening their doors for you or closing, things, the future, because it's past, present, future. But, you know, it's also heavy on what he wants, because I set the reading to be what he feels, what he wants, okay? So at some point, he would like a marriage, because he wants the real thing. He wants a fair shot, you know. The problem that I see, the most difficult problem that I see is inside of you. I see that you have a very difficult time closing a chapter and opening a new chapter. Yes, he does. Yes. He wants something serious. Yeah. What is his sun sign? Do you know? So I'll tell you more of the process. It's just that I wanted to know his sun sign, Paul. Just the sun. I don't need to know the rest of his astrology. Okay. So Libra males, they're a little bit timid. They're very, very direct with what they want. They're very, when they're upset or pissed off, oh my God, they have mouths on them. Holy moly. It's like, do they even know people have feelings? But generally Libras are very suave, smooth, very patient, you know, and they're hard to read. They're hard to read. You're tricky, huh? Maybe you don't see yourself that way, but you have your own reserved secrets, huh? You're very reserved. You tell people what you want them to know. You don't tell people what everything. You're very reserved with your things, and you know that's fine. There's a lot of people that are very reserved. He's private in the way he is, but you're a bit secretive, and that's okay. That's okay. Maybe you do it because of fear, you know, to protect yourself. But anyway, back to the problem of the reading. Of course, of course. Yes. Back to the reading, you know, the biggest problem that I see is the challenge, the fact that you don't know how to heal, carry the healing of your life's troubles, you know, in a therapeutic way, but yet open a new chapter. It's almost like you are in limbo. Start a new chapter, no, don't. Hanging on to the past, wait, no, it's a new one. No, it's not, but what I want to, but no, but I don't know how, but I'm not comfortable, but I'm not sure. Back and forth. It's very, very hard for you to do double. The crossing of this stops like this is going to continue like this. You don't know how because your mind and your heart, and you have two things that kind of are having two different conversations. One is where you're comfortable, where you're safe, where you feel happy, where you want to feel happy. And then you have one that's the logical sense. You should do this, you should do that, don't do this. And then the other one is, but I want this, but I feel this. So it's very difficult for you. And this is the problem that you're having. It's fear. Fear. Right. And you also are in the unknown. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you meant. Now, that is the problem. We already know Paul wants something serious. That's why he's sticking around. I can ask if he's had physical involvement with someone, if you want me to. He is a human, and he's been waiting a couple of years. And it's normal to think that, you know, you've probably had your connections and he's had his connections, but you know, you gotta take that into consideration. I don't really think jealousy is a thing here. I don't feel that it is. This is very serious, very good-hearted, good intention, but you understand what I'm saying to you in a technical sense, right, for adults. So I can check on those things, but I don't see that be a problem. I see that he's I see that he's very much wanting the real deal with you. That's not a question at all for me. He does want something very serious. But he's very patient, and he's also afraid. There's also a lot of things, you know. Now, a couple of things. Let's finish with the Paul thing, and then I'm gonna talk about a couple of things here. So that's the future. That means that today you don't see marriage being brought up. Today you don't see, you know, the commitment thing brought up, but you will. So this is where it's headed. So that means that you take today's date and you look forward a few months, you know, into the rest of 2025, a piece of 2026, understand where this is heading. You will speak about commitment at some point. He will approach you with it or something, because that will become a theme in your relationship that you're about to face, because you can't stay stagnant. Now, there is a situation that you are very aware of, and that has to do with money. I don't know if you, so this is being brought up in the reading because I do a section purposefully in the way that I do this, where I look for, you know, I look for areas where the person is aware of something that can be fluctuating. You know, it's hard to explain. I'll just talk about what it is. The money situation where you're independent, I don't believe you had the same relationship with romance and money when you were married. I mean, you still are, you know, in your own way, because I mean, I think that marriage is so beautiful, it will always exist, even if it's now went to heaven. But I don't look like that marriage ended, really. It's a spiritual one that you have, you know, because you don't erase that, and you don't erase that. Nobody has the power to do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the one that now it has angel wings. And the one that you're gonna have in the future, if you want to take that direction, is gonna be, you know, the living, breathing marriage. So it's showing me that in the past you had a very different relationship. In other words, yes, you always like being independent, but you had the comfortability of relying on the spouse. Right. And that's something you can't do now. And the Libra is in a situation where that doesn't make him feel the same. That's an awkward, that's a trigger point. That's a nerve. Right. Right. And it changed you. And that process changed you. And I'm seeing that this is, you know, anything he wants to offer you, you may not be aware of it, but anything that the Libra wants to offer you, you don't treat it in a regular way. It's almost like, no, thank you, or something. Like, all I'm trying to say is that his feelings about you and money and him being the provider, it's like, that's part of his role. That's what's going to make him feel, you know. And also he might have, he also has sometimes tight money situations, because with him it goes up and down, which scares you, you know. I don't know if you've dug deep into his financial stuff. You may not know that much because you're on a friendly level, but he also has his ups and downs with it, and you have your own method of dealing with finances. So because of what you became, the change, the evolution of what, you know, you became after survival and all of that, you know, it does plug in, because you're talking about a traditional love that wants to develop. Your fear is stopping it. And he's in a spot where he's like, well, what about me? Like, why, you know, why do I have to be compared? Yeah. And I think that right there is something that shows another layer of your fear and another layer of you being uncomfortable. Now, let's talk about something else. A problem that I don't think you're aware of. Not really. All right, this is a difficult area of the reading. I don't believe you're aware that the way that you're looking at life is a lot more negative than you should. Like, the lens that you see life is very, like, to you it might seem realistic and safe, but it's very negative. And the happiness, because this reading is showing that the client is unaware of a happiness that can surround her. Right. So you are optimistic. You are optimistic. But the way that because part of this reading is showing that the client has a lens, a way to view the world, a way to view life, in a way that they're not realizing how they're lacking levels of happiness they can be having. They don't see it. They're like, oh, I had no idea. So this is where an epiphany starts at some point. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't even see that. How did I live so long not knowing that? You haven't had that moment, the aha moment. This is talking about you. Yeah. There's something about the way you're looking at your life that's very boxed in. It's very boxed in. It's very limiting. Yeah. So you may be very happy, you may be very optimistic, you may be very wonderful to be around. But the way you're looking at the outlook of life is with fear, and you're limiting yourself, is what this reading is saying. That you have to taste the joy in life again. You have to taste the joy. And this is what you're not seeing and you're not feeling. Okay. Now, let's talk about so this is kind of like I don't want to say something that I say in the wrong way or sounds offensive or anything like that, but do you want a rich man? I don't know any other way to say it. Do you envision a romantic rich man entering your life? Because this talks about I don't know how else to say it, but kind of like maybe you shrug it off in the back of your mind, but someone yeah, maybe the way I said it is it just talks about the fact that, because this is the part of the reading where I kind of look at what the client desires, what the client maybe thinks won't happen. And it talks about, let's see, right, which means a level of wealth. I didn't mean to say it in a way that it made you kind of feel like, oh, you're a gold digger. No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, you already have in the deep level of your subconscious a guy and a checklist. He should be like this, he should be like this, I like this, he should have this. And it's like somewhere embedded in your subconscious because it's showing up. It's showing up. And you also fear that you may have people. This is a fear that is here as well. You feel that there are people or potential suitors that may be interested, and some might be comfortable, but they don't fit the other qualities that you want. In other words, you keep seeing mismatches. He's really handsome, but he's broke. He is like this, but he doesn't have this. Or, he's older and wiser and romantic, but he has a hard side and I don't like that. Or, he's got money, but there's not enough attraction. So it's almost like you keep seeing, in a way, where are the candidates? There's nobody. Forget it. This is, I'm so tired of this. Right. So this is what this is showing. So it's showing that you slowly are also not believing anymore. And the reason that you are having a closed door is because the right door is Paul. Yeah. The right door is Paul. So there is no other mystery man. There is no other person that's going to check off that list at this time, because destiny has put Paul in the picture. So I see that you guys are meant to be. I see that you guys are destiny. Usually when a person, because I have read for plenty of widows, and every story is different. Every story is different. A lot of times, some of them shouldn't date. Some of them, they're settling too easily. And I've said to them, What are you, crazy? You just, no, keep looking. That guy is ridiculous. You know, there's some that don't want anybody at all. In your particular case, you know, Paul is your destiny. It's meant to be. And it has your husband's stamp of approval, believe it or not. All right. Now, there's a external influence that's yeah. Right. You know, you're analyzing things a lot. You're analyzing things. You see how you like Paul, you're drawn to Paul, but you feel guilty and you feel weird about it. Like you do, but you don't because you didn't do anything wrong. And you just see that he's present in your life. You don't know how to look at the situation like head on. You feel it because you're spiritual, you know, you feel it, but you have all these conflicting things the way you analyze it. Oh, but it looks ridiculous in front of family. What do I say? Oh my gosh. You know, I don't know. It makes sense. No, it doesn't. You know, the way that you, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I didn't see that. I read it now. Can I ask something silly about him? Yes, go ahead. We still have a couple things to cover. Okay, while you type that up, oh, okay. While you type up your question, I'm gonna keep reading, okay? So there is something coming up as kind of like an external influence here. It talks about someone overseas. So I don't know if you have family in another country or you have friends, you know, that live in a certain faraway distance. Have you been thinking of like travel or something to disconnect? Anything that has to do with travel, like whether it's visiting family, visiting friends, a cruise, is it something that you've thought of? Because this talks about a person. Okay, I'll address compatibility. That's called romantic compatibility. Okay. Yes, traveling is something, yeah. Traveling is something that because you're afraid to ruin the friendship if that becomes awkward. Yeah, you're analyzing everything very deeply. Very Virgo. Very Virgo. Do you have any Virgo in you? That is extremely Virgo. Do you have a Venus Virgo? Mexico? Okay. Going to Spain with your girlfriend. Yeah. So this talks about you yearning that way, going that way. You don't have Virgo, but your husband has one. Oh no, you do have Virgo. Everybody has Virgo in their chart. Cancer Venus? Okay. Everyone has Virgo, even if it's empty. It's not empty. People think, oh, I don't have anything in there. It doesn't mean anything. Oh no, you're wrong. Virgo speaks in everyone's chart. It's responsible for a lot of things. It's home to a house, and that house speaks a lot. It just is not as busy, but it's definitely part of your destiny. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, what I was saying is I do see you traveling, and I do see it helping you. So yeah. Now, one of the things that you have in the power to do, this reading is about, you know, yes, his feelings, yes, a lot of questions being answered here, but you know, it's also what you can do in your hands, the way that you view things, the way that you handle things, the way that you are not letting things, you know, the way they're overlaid and you just don't stop one and start a new one. And this talks about you have the power within you to not only continue to heal and have a connection where you keep your son's father alive very well for him, but you also can start a new page and start a new, you start your love life back up. All right, and you have the power to accomplish that. And if you dedicate yourself to that new structure, that new healing, you will accomplish it, because that is the key. The key is how you're handling your emotions. The key is how you are overcoming your fear. Yes, so it's in your power. At some point, you have to say, enough. You have to have a game plan. You have to, you're not going to heal unless you, when a person wants to gain weight because they're too thin, they have to look at their calories and look at their carbs and everything. Fats, when a person wants to lose weight, they have to plan on it. When a person wants to train for a marathon, when a person wants to, learn a subject, everything in life that the human body and the brain is going to adjust to takes planning and dedication. You want to heal. You want to start up your love life. You want to organize your healing on your personal time, which is prayer time. I suggest that you have one morning every week, or maybe it's an hour every morning or half an hour, whatever time. I don't know your schedule, but at least, one day a week, have an hour to yourself with your husband's picture, praying and healing, and letting him know maybe what your week was like or something. A process where you connect and you tell him what your troubles are for a little bit, until you get to the point where you just pray to him in a way where you just tell him that you love him, and that's it. And to shine light on you and your son. You can then switch and talk to him just about your son for a little while, and you can make the topic so that you are comfortable with a spiritual connection, so that you leave it at that window of time. Why is that? Well, because you don't want the thoughts and the connection to bleed through all of your thoughts and encompass all your energy. You want to dedicate a spiritual time to to pay homage to that kind of thing, right? And to respect the spirit and to connect. And then if you have prayer time, other time, because you said you were part of that group, then you can do that as well. And then you have to have something where with your son, you have an organized time where you tell dad stories. And then when you have other parts of your schedule, you have to put the past behind you, and you have to learn romantic triggers. Maybe it's sitting next to some roses every day and journaling. Maybe it's watching a romantic movie. You have to separate the triggers, and you have to sit there and say, okay, well, I'm going to draw a bubble bath and I'm going to think about Romeo. I'm going to, this is my time to think about my future. And you're going to learn organized patterns of thinking and triggers. And this is how you set boundaries. So Tauruses are very visual. The ambiance of decor. So if there's rings or bracelets or anything, have it in a little section of your home, kind of like where you have stuff that reminds you of your past spouse. Okay? Because you can't, I'm not saying, oh, don't wear that or don't do this, but you have to visually start separating too. That's the pile for special things. That's the sacred pile. That's the pile with the past. These are the new clothes and the new perfume and the new jewelry. You have to do that. Change your furniture around, things like that. You have to start somewhere, okay? So it's within your power. Now, I did check if you're spiritually clean and balanced. I see that you are. I see that very much so. So whatever you're doing, whatever you've done, you're good. I do see that the outcome of the future, because I do have an outcome for you of the way that not like forever, but like this phase of your life where it's heading, right? Because the near future, the not so near, but like a good chunk of maybe from here to maybe a piece of 2026, within that time frame, maybe like 6 to 8 months, maybe it's sooner, just to give you an idea. I do see that you're going to have a life change, and it's a good one. Okay, because at some point you have to turn the page. You can't sit there and disintegrate with a false reality. You can't do that. Okay, that's how people rot and burn out. You can't do that to your life. Now, like the hamster wheel, over and over, the same pattern, can't progress. You can't do that. And it's in your hands. You have the power to overcome this hamster wheel, this stagnation, okay? Now, the fear that you have that you will lose someone that you love is definitely there. And verbalizing that is very healthy. Saying, I am afraid of, and you can say, blank, blank. I am afraid of blank, blank. And just feel it. Feel those words. You are afraid of being a widow again. You are afraid of love ending. You are afraid of divorce. You are afraid of marrying someone who you don't trust. You are afraid of someone failing to what your image is of what you want. You are afraid of, the connection with someone being genuine back to you. You are afraid of not being loved the way that you are going to put love into somebody. It's healthy to own up to what fear is, because only then you can break it down. And you have very valid fears. All right? And that's important. So I do show that there is someone that maybe you dated that's showing up here. It doesn't matter. We don't have to talk about him or anything like that. That's your business. But I do see that there was someone that was either you were hoping they would be in the picture. Maybe this was a little while back. Maybe there's something going on. Besides Paul, there's somebody else that you... Is there anyone that there's been like flirtation, or maybe there was like a short phase of seeing him, or because there's another gentleman popping up into the picture. They're not your direction or path. Paul is. Okay. All right. Yeah. Did you consider him? Because the man showing up in the reading is someone that, there somewhere in there, there's kind of like a romantic vibe in there. So whatever that connection was or is about to be, Paul is the connection. Paul is the direction, but right. Yeah, and I see that that's just, I don't think Paul knows about him. Is that correct? Where Paul does not know about Tom? Correct. Okay, so that's why he's coming up. Yes. He's not the direction. I think if Paul knew about Tom, Paul would be devastated. So based on that, that is the reading. I hope it gave you clarity. You're off to change, in the future. There's change coming your way. But you have to play your part. You have to do your part. You were asking about a romantic connection and all of that. And the chemistry, yes. Right. Of course. So, yeah. So if you want to do, I'm not trying to sell you any reading or anything like that. I think the reading that you got is complete because it was about how Paul feels. Because of the direction of, you know, the change and the happiness and the travel and the things that I see that are very positive, naturally things can fall into place. But if you did want to do a reading on, you know, how to approach the Paul romantic thing going on, how that ice is going to be broken, you know, we can look into it, because that's its own thing, because then because then that has to do with deciding factors. You know, should you hint it? Definitely not say it. Definitely not say, you know, it's traditionally, that's not romantic. It should be his place. But you can also, you know, cushion that moment, because you've also blocked it in your own way as well. You've gotten very close to that moment of a first kiss or something. I don't mean like close, like face up close, but like the feeling where it's going, and the vibe you set off is you kind of block it and he kind of goes like that. So you haven't cushioned it either. When you cushion it, you know, right, exactly. But that's why I'm saying, for him to do that, you got to cushion it. Yeah, that's harder. Maybe traveling as well. You know, you got to also go by what he says to you, like a hint. Like if you call him and say, hi, how are you? Just thinking about you, or thinking about something you said. If you don't want to say thinking about you because it's direct, you could say, oh no, how are you? I was thinking about something that you said. Oh, you did? And then, you know, he wants to see you, bottom line, break the ice by saying something like positive, or something, you know, exciting, where he feels like he's center stage. That's important for a Libra, you know. So that's gonna cushion it, and then bring out the red lipstick. It's his move to make, but you have to get to the point where you want that. Once you break the ice, and as far as compatibility, yes, Taurus and Libra have a lot of chemistry. Taurus can be a little bossy in the relationship. You know, with Libra, sometimes can, you know, be frustrated because it's like Taurus is right. You know, you're kind of like, what, you know, what are you, my other son? What the hell? Sometimes it gets like that because Libra can be either very mature or very immature. And Taurus is always like, do this, do this, do this. Yeah. But it can be a very good relationship, because I'll tell you why. You're both ruled by Venus. You love art. Both of you are drawn to art. You love going to fancy places, experiences. When it comes to food, spices, cuisine, you know, wine, different things with flavor, fragrances, beauty. You're both drawn to these things. You can have a life where you enjoy a lot together. You're also both can be very cozy. You can be very homey. You can be very, I'm going to make my atmosphere be beautiful. I love my atmosphere, because that's very Libra and Taurus as well. So you have a lot in common, and you have a lot that is, you know, very chemistry when it comes to romance too. The vision that I saw in the crystal ball was apparently something he has fantasized about, and he is very, very, I should say, very kiss heavy. So he's very romantic. So he's kissing the neck kind of thing. So yes, you know, very slow, very romantic, you know, kind of thing. Some people have a very heavy, spicy, I'm fast, and it's, you know, and some are very like Gomez kissing Morticia's arm going up, you know. So he's very soft and tender in that way. So I see that there would be a lot of chemistry, but you have to be ready for that moment. And I think it's gonna, you know, take you a little bit because you have a lot of homework to do. You have a lot to do, but at the same time, you gotta wake this up. You gotta be ready because you don't want this to pass you by. All right? So hopefully that helps, sweetheart. Thank you so much for getting choosing me for your reading, and it was very nice meeting you, Miss Paula Torres. All right, so I'm gonna text Gravity. Let me see. I don't know if she's on. If he's on, let me see. They are on. Let's see. I have to text them. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. I think I'm confusing. Wait, it's Veluxian, right? Okay, so I have to text Veluxian, and then I have to text them. Hang on one second. Oh, you are there. Oh, okay, okay. Yes, gotcha. Okay. Oh, you are too. Oh, okay. I was gonna text you folks because I didn't know. Wow, you. I'm so sorry you were waiting. I thought you went and did stuff. I thought you guys were doing stuff, and then I was gonna text you folks. I did not mean for you guys to sit through that. Oh wait, there was something else. Hang on a minute. Oh my goodness. One quick thing. Paula, are you there? One thing I forgot. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. There's one quick thing. It seems like Paul had either a divorce in his past or something that he left behind. Something. I don't know if he had like something legal that happened to him. I don't know. I don't know if you're aware. Not a big deal. He's a very good person and everything, but there was something heavy that he left behind a long time ago. Okay. Yeah. But it was difficult for him. Very difficult. And there's a lot of things. That's fine. It's just that I just looked for anything kind of like that you didn't know or like details. And, you know, this can be another great thing that you can later talk about when you get closer. You know, like other topics that go deeper into just your basic, yeah, this happened in the past, because it shows there's a lot of details there that he may not want to share with you right away, but, you know, because it hasn't been appropriate. Yeah. Okay. And I think that is more things that you can talk about later as you get to know each other. That's it. That was the only part that I forgot. Sorry. All right, sweetheart. Thank you. Okay, so wait a minute. Where are they? I thought Gravity was on. Have you guys? Was I nuts or did you see them? Wait, Veluxian wasn't there because after. I thought I saw this chat is different than. Oh, there you are. Okay. Think of what you should be even asking. Oh my goodness, you don't know your question. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so usually I tell someone, let me clean the energy a minute. Usually I tell someone, you know, I mean, I feel comfortable enough with you that we can do a general. I don't offer generals anymore because I would tell someone something in a general, it would come up, and then they'd say, I don't want to talk about that. And I'd be like, well, I'm sorry, it's coming up in the reading. Yeah, but no, I don't want to, it stresses me. I don't want to talk about it. Well, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? So if you want a general, I'm comfortable with you. I'll do a general on you, but. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, main question though, should. Okay, so it's real estate, basically. Okay. All right, real estate. Okay. You do know that the housing market at this time is a very, very difficult market at this time. Yeah. I mean, it's some of the worst times to invest in real estate at this time. There's so many issues with it all across the country, but it doesn't mean it's not happening. I know the Carolinas, you know, at this point had such a nice, you know, for a long time had such a nice, used to buy a bunch of acres for like a fraction of what it was anywhere else. Upstate New York also has it's a lot of farmland, a lot of places like that, but it's up there. It's up there. Definitely a different price point. Okay, let's see. Okay, gotcha. All right. Did my live stream stop? If it stops, I will sign back on and go on cellular. If there's an, because I heard my stream device have an interruption. Yeah, I think I might go on cellular. Did you guys hear the live cut out? Okay, if it cuts out, I'll be right back. All right, I'll just have to sign off, sign back in, and go on another network. All right. What is Florida? What does Florida have to do with, is there anything in Florida you were going to do looking into? Because I see that coming up in the reading. In the past. This would be in the past. Am I still on? Yes. I think the timer is going off. On TikTok, you get a green light or a red light or an orange, a yellow. Well, okay. Okay, so that's probably why, because that came up in the past, Florida. So I was like, okay. I heard New Hampshire as well, but I don't know. That's besides the point, because New Hampshire is not in the past. New Hampshire is something that that's, usually it's expensive, New Hampshire. I don't know why. Okay, okay. All right, so it seems that where you currently are, it feels like the will is there, but the opportunity is not. It's kind of like a person feels stuck like Chuck in a way. You've been in that scenario before, I remember that, when you were trying to rent and it was going to take you a while and eventually it was going to happen, but it was so many cartwheels and so many things. But the reading is also saying that, you know, it is going to be resolved. So whatever whatever it is, which we're going to look into, but I'm already seeing a solution. you know, come into fruition. So this is really important. But I'm seeing that the problem is it's like taking, how do I try to, it's like whatever your career is now, or whatever you're doing with your life direction now, and your partner, whatever they are doing now in their direction, it's not going to fit perfectly in the new mold of where you're headed. So in other words, maybe in your head you're like, we'll do this, we can organize this, I'll move this over here, it'll be perfect, I'll transition to that job. No, I'm going to transfer over there instead. No, we're going to transition to this county or this area now. I'll work over here, drive over there, it'll be great. And I'm seeing there's quirks. Yeah. So there, in other words, that's a problem here. So the pick up and go and lift everything you've got in place and everything they have in place and do it evenly and drop it perfectly in the new space is not what I see. That's an issue. So yes, something can become resolved, but there's going to be quirks in that, and that you may have to give something up to gain the new place. So I don't know what that would be. So that's a caveat. Okay. So this also speaks of an awareness that you are upon, where a large drastic decision is going to be made soon. So that also is already, besides the one that I'm telling you about, there's something else that's coming. So it's like when a person says, yep, I know that in a month I have to transfer schools, or yes, I know that in a month, you know, it's just making it's just making itself known in the reading that the client, there's going to be a decision and change besides the issue that gets resolved. It's a separate thing. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are one. I mean, like in my reading, at least, the way when I do readings for you, I just like, to me, you guys are merged into one, because your life direction is in one goal, one heart, one path, one home, you see? So I don't want to separate it, because you're not dating across the country. You guys are together. So yeah, okay. Okay. So I do see an enemy. That sounds so drastic. I don't know your life, so you got to just kind of understand my weird message. I'm seeing that there's a person that you are dealing with. It seems like it's related to your field or your work, or your studies, or you know, whatever directional path you're on. It would fit. In other words, it's not a friend, and it's not just complete social circle, and it's not, obviously not in the romantic circle, it's not family circle. So it's going to be like somewhere between friendly, coworker, peer, colleague, something like that. And this is a person that has some kind of scholastic accomplishment, and they seem like such a, it's like kind of like when a person says, oh my God, you know, I love this author's work, and they're going to do a seminar, and I'm loving their program, and they're, you know, they're so into it. I see this person as such a voice of reason, and then all of a sudden it comes crashing down, and they're like, oh my God, what was I doing listening to this freaking idiot? So there's something that changes. There's a, like an agenda. There's something that's not being seen, kind of like a facade. It's not a big deal. It's coming in as like one of those minor things, but it's, you know, I kind of go for details. So it comes from you being very a believer in their word, or something that is influential enough. So it can be a boss, a teacher, a colleague, anybody that you are listening to their things, being guided under. It could be a therapist. It can be this is when a person's words and advice seems like it's guiding. Like it's like there's some kind of leadership over, you know. Okay, so they might be blonde. There's a very big chance they have blonde hair. It's not, in this particular thing, I don't really give, you know, a description. Sometimes I do very clearly, and sometimes I don't. You know, I would say definitely someone blonde. But it can also be that they have, you know, highlights, I guess, in that color enough to put them in the light. God, hair color and tarot is not friendly. But, you know, it's either red, brown, you know. All right. Anyway, I would say more than the blonde color, I would say that it can also represent that they have, you know, like a Caucasian background. Because I know that where you live, okay. So I know that where you live, there's such a multitude of cultures, but roughly it's like Chinese and Italian, and you know, it's not like you have a million people that are from Thailand, you know, like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot, it's like a melting pot, but it's not as multicultural as like the city, you know, like New York City, right? Yeah, so with that being said, this person, sometimes the blonde hair represents just like a Finnish, Danish, Scandinavian bloodline, maybe Irish, you know, something like that, bloodline. So yeah, so they wouldn't be Italian or something. Well, you know, there could be light-haired Italians, but they have Austrian blood. Not to get too technical, but you know what I mean. And this is just someone that the warning comes in. It's like they're going to give an idea it seems very creative in their advice, and it leads the person down the wrong direction. And it comes with, and the person first believes it, like saying, "Oh my God, they're so accomplished, they're so knowledgeable. You know, they have a lot of wisdom. I believe this." And then later on, they unravel, you know, and they're like, why did I believe this? Like, why was I thinking this? So it doesn't change the life too much, you know, but it's one of those things that come into the reading like saying, by the way, it'll be a small experience in your life, but you should consider when you believe in something very deeply, don't just take that one person's guidance. Disconnect a little bit, because it can take you on some kind of mind bend. All right. So I am seeing trouble in the spiritual area. This is not a general. It's focused on real estate. It's focused on your problem. It's hard to, you know, address because buying land and property and having options give it a very vague reading, although we're trying to anchor it. But I do add other things in the reading. I do look for other things, you know, just to complement the reading. You know, anything the person kind of really needs to know right now. Yeah, I check for spiritual things, being a practitioner and everything. It's just to, so I am seeing that there's something not okay with your spiritual guides. So either there's some distress there, you have maybe something connected to you that maybe doesn't belong there. Just being aware. Okay. Yeah. So just to let you know, there's something not kosher with the picture. So you'll address that, you know, in your own way. But it's good to be aware of that. Possibly. No, possibly. But I know you'll figure it out because you have your own way, your own style of doing things, and you'll figure it out. Like I said, it's just extra. It's not one of those things like, oh my God, what a problem. It's just, yeah. All right, it doesn't look like you are going to buy property right now, whether it's land or a home. I can see there's been a financial boost, and I can see that there maybe was some travel. But, you know, I realize it's a good spot in the life, in the times right now. There's you know, the opportunities there. But I'm seeing that it doesn't work out that way. I'm seeing that you rent in a new place. That's the outcome for now. you got to realize too, sometimes doors close so that so that the right one's open. So this ended up being a lot more, let me just continue with the reading, and you'll see. So we talked about those things. I don't want to repeat that stuff. That's we've talked about those things already. I would say the next thing that I want to address is there's a big worry about this is more like a couples thing for you. Instead of saying, instead of being moving heavy or life heavy, this is more like on you and your partner. And there's a worry or concern and a stress on completing the medical mission, journey, and then having everything balanced and having that part, checked off and like, okay, this is complete now. So that part is so I know that that's not the subject, but it's coming in as something that doesn't leave the mind, the worry, the weight, the hope, the fear. It's a lot, and it's around you, that energy. So I do have to address it, and it's just saying that you're going to accomplish it all. I hate them because they give me such awkward people. I don't want to talk about that. That's just, I'm sorry, it's coming up. And then people get mad. Can we talk about something else, please? But no, we can't. So I'm like, I'm taking them out of my shop. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Now, I do see a couple, besides you and yours, I see a couple that is very helpful to both of you in something in the future. So I don't know what that is, but whatever, these individuals have a lot of experience. They seem intelligent to me. One of them is very settled in their path, and they helped their partner through some things to get stability. That's the kind of flavor that I see with these folks, is the level of stability. Oh, it's those people? Wait, no, I only remember the crazy Aquarius. And I don't remember a couple. I don't think I've ever read for... I don't remember anything like that. I'm trying... No, just when you had that crazy, that like experience, the menage... I don't want to say the rest of it, but the whole thing, and then your partner, that crazy time. I remember one individual that was mentioned, but I don't remember a couple. I don't know. Remind me. I believe you. Nothing's triggering a memory of a couple that came out in your reading. Just like that guy. Or I think it was the crazy Aquarius, I think had a boyfriend or something. I don't remember any other couple. I mean, your mom and her partner. That's the only thing. Oh, okay. No, I don't remember, but I definitely believe you because it was your reading. I do tons of them, so yeah, no worries. Okay, yeah, so I don't know if it's the same ones. I know that the alpha, because this person is a very articulate, they're very organized, they have a lot of experience, they've found a way to be, kind of like the staple in their relationship. and the other one kind of follows the partner, and they have found like a lot of stability. So anyway, I'm just seeing it as a beneficial influence, whoever they are. They could be German descent. I don't know if they have some German in them, at least one of them, you know. Okay, so now the next thing I see is one of the things I'm seeing in this reading as far as a challenge, something that can bring you answers, something that can bring you results, is to let go and go into the unknown a little bit more, like where your intuition wants you to. So I see like a fight between, okay, no, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is the structure I'm supposed to follow. I have this linear way of thinking. Yes, I can be creative because, you know, the art thing, but I'm still very rigid in certain ways. This is telling you to kind of do the silly thing, to kind of do the adventurous thing. There's something that is going to bring you a great deal of joy if you just go into the unknown, which you may label as stupid. Why would I do that? Oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm so not doing that. This is saying that there's something that's going to bring you answers and direction. It's also with travel. So that means driving around, exploring something. It's trying to tell you that the way that you're thinking about something, you're boxing yourself in one result and doing things the way that, maybe the way your partner suggests. So your partner has a different way of thinking, one that seems sometimes more quirky to you, one that seems more like, did you think that through, really? Right? And you're like editing it. Well, maybe something like that. Yeah, because you seem very well put together and analytical. And this seems more like chaotic and kind of like fruitless and, you know, not your way of handling things. And this is kind of saying that this is going to lead you to something new. So I don't know if it's going to be a new art path, because I know you're working in your field and all of that, but that doesn't mean the art went away. I can ask if this is in reference to the moving and the goals, or if this is job exploration, maybe helping him get something, or I'm not sure. Let me see. Or they get something. Yes, 1 second. Let me find out. Yeah, it has to do with helping your partner. Yep. So, thinking a little bit different than the way you're thinking about it. So the way that you're dealing with, so here's where I see the connection. The reason that you don't find land or a home, property, real estate to purchase at this phase in your life is because destiny has something blocking that because it's not the right time. Now, let's take that a minute and hit a pause and go back and think about this with inspection. Remember the times you tried to rent, but you couldn't, and you kept hitting a wall, and you tried, and I felt so bad because I was like, no, it's not gonna work out, not like that, later. And, you know, but then I saw, oh, yes, it's gonna happen. Okay, and it did. There's gotta be something, because I don't know your life, there's gotta be something that aligned in such a way that you look back and you say, you know what? I couldn't at that time, I could now. And when it happened, it was because of this. Sometimes it becomes very clear. Like, it was crazy to rent with her, but then she got her crap together, at least enough to make it happen, right? So there's gotta be something why this is not gonna pan out right now. There's gotta be a reason. Now, besides the real estate direction, because I see you renting in a new place, like I said, besides that, there's a layer here that talks about, you know, the romantic connection where, I don't mean like a love reading. I mean like the stuff happening with the couple. So in other words, work problems with them, work problems with what they can't get. And what the career, it's going this way, that way, this way, you're trying to solve it. Okay. So that is very much in the reading. It's not the block of the real estate, that's a different reason, but it's very much a theme here that I can't ignore. And this frustration point also puts you out too. It's frustrating you because you want to get to a certain level of easiness and smoothness, and you want to arrive and just say, okay, these boxes are checked, now I can move on to the next part of my life. And it is a weight. It is a weight on here. So this is saying that a solution to this is to think about things in a way you haven't before. Think outside the box. It sounds so cliche, but to think outside the box normally than the box you use, So maybe you're so overwhelmed by so many things that the way you're looking at it is very linear. So this talks about, could there be something that that your partner's father did for a living? Could there be something that the father suggested in the past that so in other words, is there something that his father suggested that maybe got ignored? Is there something that he was saying to his child that maybe just got crossed off the list? There's something, a direction that is an option that hasn't been considered. So I don't want to turn this into exploring, your partner's career, because obviously that's not fair. That's their area. But it is a theme because you are connected to it as well. You like I said, it's one energy in a way, right? That's how I see it. So I do see that the reading ends with success. Success as far as solidifying what's up in the air. What's up in the air, what I mean by that is, it's not, nothing is gripped, nothing has landed, nothing is firm. So it's up in the air. That means it can turn any way. It's not anchored, it's not stabilized. It's still up in the air right now, a lot of things. This reading ends with stability. So it may not be the result that you want, but you do get a result. So stability is key. So this talks about a solution to, organizing your partner's path. Both of you. This talks about renting again, but moving on in other areas. Yeah. If you next time, if you get a read or whatever, whenever it is, 6 months from now, whenever, text me if they want, if they're on board with it. Text me their what do we call it, birthday and stuff, so I could look up their career destiny if that helps. Some people don't want to know and they just want to explore it. Anyway, it's showing results. But because this reading is a little bit scattered and I like to give one concrete answer, I feel like the only thing really answer that I have for you on the real estate is that there's no purchasing at this point. And what I mean by that is the next 6 to 8 months or so. I don't see a purchase. Definitely, I'm saying there's not. I'm saying there's a rental, which is fine if it's meant to go to the next part of life. Where do you get stability? Maybe by knowing where you're going to live after your lease. That's a good closing. But what would you like me to ask so that I can kind of tie up loose ends? Okay. Okay. So it seems like the solution, since now we're going down the rabbit hole, it seems like the way this is gonna, the way this looks to me, is that the Aquarius is gonna leave. And it looks like you're gonna be able to rent the place with your partner. So that sounds probably very strange to you because you're in a situation where all sources of income. Yeah, it sounds like probably nuts though, because you're like, the resources are like not, no, it's not. That's what I see. You know? Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And it looks like you're going to be able to sustain the rent with both of you. What emoji is that? I can't see it. I'm sorry. It looks like a little, I don't even know what that is. An axe? No, I don't know. I don't know what that is. This freaking thing is so tiny. I also have the phone very away from me, like quite away. Like the distance is like super far. Like I have it very far, like super far. So I can't, it's like little tiny. Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, I've used that one before. I just didn't, I didn't, you can't even recognize it. It's so tiny and behind the dark color. Oh my God. So that's what's going to happen. And then I see, so if we're going to do this like Tarzan English, your housing situation is more close than you think. The Aquarius leaves. You're able to sustain the place with you and your partner, and it becomes possible. So life moves forward in a direction that gives it balance. It talks about a journey to help your partner with their career. It talks about achieving stability. So stability doesn't mean all your dreams come true in 1 second. It means that you get stabilized. Okay, this is anchored and now I can move to step B. It talks about fears being addressed and letting you know that eventually in your future things do pan out the way that you want. It's just that in the right timing. It talks about, true therapy comes from travel. So experiences of actually traveling, don't look at it just the hunt for a place. It also is nourishing. So this comes from movement, is very therapeutic. So it talks about that. The whole thing about, believing and trusting in one person's direction is not enough. So let's say it's a person training you, right? Then it would be to be aware that you don't befriend them in a way that you think that everything, because there's going to be a side later that you won't want to associate. So you just have a wall up. Right now, your deepest circle of trust should be you and your partner. It sounds very dry because I don't know, maybe you're a people person, and I'm telling you to not be. Yes, for work and your demeanor, but the trust, it's a time to just be like both of you for now, because I see that there's a lot of toxic things. Oh, okay, let's see. You say, I want it to, yeah. Yeah. Enjoy the trip, not just because it's, for the goal, but also because it's also a day in your life. It's days in your life. It's also a little trip. It's also stop and smell the flowers. Stop and smell the flowers. Stop and take pictures of stars and rainbows and grass and bunny rabbits and have coffee at that cool cafe. Like, just make your life, take the best out of everything. Because this is your life too, and it's not just a waiting game, and everything is a struggle. And no. You gotta just fresh new outlook. So this is part of it. Yeah. It's the little things, you know. It really is the little things. Yeah, I see that things become solved for you, that you don't have to live much longer in the air with waiting. Because think about it. You're waiting on this. You're hoping for that. You're waiting on this. Like, your life can't be a series of waiting. No. You know, doors are going to open in the right way. Everything will come. Don't forget your art. Don't never stop arting. But that's the reading. I hope it helped. Thank you so much, Gravity. I mean, I still call you Gravity. It's probably annoying, but I have this habit of calling folks by their username. So if you're Daisy425, I'll be like, okay, Daisy425, thank you. Oh, that's cute. I like that. So you're what's your sun, moon, rising? You're very holding on to things from your past, like old pencils and old usernames. Oh, okay. Sentimental Leo. Holding on to little things and little trinkets and memories. And I had this since I was 12, and I had this since I was so sentimental. Well, you yearn for the past? Really? Or you just kind of like, I don't know. I get that. I get some nostalgia, but you don't seem super nostalgic. You seem like you're very much future. You're very much, you know. Yeah, you like the memories. Yeah, it's you sound very sentimental. Like you really hold on to things. I mean, nostalgia is beautiful, but it also anchors people to be like they live in the past. You don't seem to me. You seem very like you appreciate those moments and those memories and those, you know, but you seem very future to me. So I like that. I like that contradiction. I love that enigma. No, no, I agree with you. Yeah, in some ways I think you are. But I've met very nostalgic people who just can't get out of the past. And you seem so eager to be in the far future already. You have such a driving force. You know, I can feel your Gemini wings. But yes, I love that. I love that the moon, Leo moon, absolutely. Treasures, little treasures from your life, you know, that are special. I like that. It's funny because I have these I make and collect perfume, and I find that, you know, you can go back in time with just a fragrance. So I tend to have all these eras in life and all these memories just by scent, which I find so interesting. I have this box with little vials, and yeah. Oh, how cool! Yeah, I remember what I opened up a bottle of something I wore when I was like 10, and I smell it and I'm like, oh my God, it takes me back. I could see everything. It's like a time warp. It's like a time machine. How it triggers in the brain. It's so, the human brain is so incredible, isn't it? So incredible. But anyway, thank you, sweetheart. I say sweet as a term of endearment. It's a Southern thing. New Yorkers maybe sometimes don't like, don't call me sweetheart. But, you know, I do that all the time. As long as I don't say snookums. Like, who even uses that word anymore? Snookums. That's like old school Southern. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gravity. Have a good one. Good things to you. All right, so I am ready for Valexian. I have a couple of orders, but you're next. Is she there? Let's see. Oh, I love sunflowers. See, I knew that one. I saw that one. I recognize that one. Oh, hi. So let's see. What did you? Let's see. Let me pull it up here. Oh no, wait. I gotta do it here. Do I? Wait. It's on this one. I'm going nuts with all these devices. Hang on. Let me pull up your order. Where is it?